How's it going, everybody, and welcome to another After Action Report with RONIN 47R, and we are looking at the World of Tank Community Tournament, Clan PG versus Clan 47R, and this occurred on January 16th, and it was the second match for our team. You can see the team roster scrolling up there before you. Meanwhile, we're going to go ahead and roll into the first game between the PG clan and the 47R clan, opening up here on Ensk, and it is a standard battle. In this case, we do have both teams coming out with a full 7-on-7. And, this is the second clan match, not the second battle, but the second clan match that 47R has ever entered. So we're going to go ahead and see how they fare against these folks who, from what I understand, have done this many times before. Now I'm going to go ahead and fill you in on a few things as the first video portrayed or showed you. We had some commentators on the Mad Hatter and Nazar doing some commentating in the background. You may or may not be able to hear them. I've toned that down because it just kind of works out better this way. If you want to see the raw footage, you can always go to his channel and see everything. What I've done is I've just cut out the just the battles themselves, not the in-between getting readies. Now we're going to go ahead and see that we're opening up here with the green team being Clan PG and the red team being 47R. And I'm taking a look at this here, trying to keep up with the lay of the land here, and it looks like a lot of folks are heading down the center. Maybe the 4 line or so.
On the 2-3 area. Once they stack up.
All right, so now they're setting up, and the light tank is way in the back. We've got a good handful of heavies on the PG team right there in the center of buildings. And looks like they're maybe a block between the two of them. Light tank's coming up near the rail station. Meanwhile, the PG light tank is putting some eyes on the 9-0 line, trying to figure out what's going on down there. So what they're doing here, for the most part, is you could say it's maybe in 2 groups, maybe the light tank on his own and 1 group in the center, or you can consider it as 2 separate groups. 3 heavies kind of close together, separated by a couple buildings length away. And they're very patiently waiting to see what 47R is going to do. And it looks like we have a heavy tank peeking out down the main road here on the 1 line. Very dangerous area. There's an IS-3 for 47R kind of taking a peek there. So far, nothing really too much is going on. It's kind of just sizing up each other. There's a big push by 47R up the 3-4 line, and they're going to see the diagonal pretty soon. Making some visual contact. You can see some exchanges there with a couple of tanks there. And now the 3 PGs are going down the main road, and they're going to go ahead and try to put down that 47R heavy tank there in the road. We have a second one trying to assist from the cover there. That 47R tank is now down. That would be Sweaty Elvis, has been taken out. And they are coming in at, looks like 6 heavy tanks there in the center. One of 47R tanks is trying to take advantage of that from in between, shooting at their rear. Another 47R tank goes down. Another PG tank goes down there on the 1 line. Another one is on fire and finally succumbs to burning up. Now we've got 3 heavy tanks here in the main section there down below on the south in the GH line. Meanwhile, 47R is heading south. Light tank is kind of dangling there in the back, poking around. I'm not seeing PG's light tank doing much other than just kind of scouting around. Maybe he's going to swing around. We'll go ahead and see that. We have 47R's light tank kind of hanging out there in the main road, waiting to see if anyone pops out. We have the, I believe it was an IS-3, just made contact here, right where the camera was showing you around that corner. Now there is a PG, the green tank here, a heavy tank that is very, very low on health over there on my right as related to the camera view. And is that a KV-5? What is that? I cannot see it. No, it's not a KV-5. Okay, it's an IS. Maybe it's an IS-3. Oh, okay, so one of the 47Rs just went down there on the 1 line. And it's still, fairly even. Pretty good battle going back and forth. 47R tank's going to get it from behind. He is now down. That was Pontiac Pat. And we have an AMX that is still alive on the 1 line for 47R, trying to hold himself up. Meanwhile, you have PG doing a great job of using the tank for cover, and so is the AMX on 47R's team doing the same thing. Meanwhile, the light tank is going light tank versus light tank. He's a one-shot, And he's going to probably, I would assume, go down very soon, just because you can do a quick auto lock, and there's full health with the PG light tank. So it was a very good battle. They put up a very good battle, but in the end, it snowballed, and 47R lost the first round. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and we're back in the garage. I've done some cutting and splicing, all that kind of fun stuff. And one of the things that by the way, I did not watch this live. I was unable to watch this live, so I had to watch the recording. And of course, I was filled in with some highlights, from the clan members and friends and whatnot that were watching it, and they were texting me. It's pretty funny. It's almost like we're watching a football game. They're giving me, blow by blow highlights. But one of the things I found out is that there was very bad communication problems with Xbox Live, and they were not, meaning 47R was having a hard time communicating. They weren't able to hear each other. There was some technical difficulties. And that was a big problem. Also, I heard, I don't know if it's related to it, but I also heard in general there were some server problems for other 360 players beyond this clan match itself. So also too, there's alternative communication tools being used. I believe Discord was trying to be used as well. And again, until I debrief everybody and find out the full skinny, I'm not sure how well or not well that it worked, but I do recall that there was some very bad communication challenges due to technical difficulties. All right, so now we have the green team, still PG, but they're spawning now in the south. 47R is still red, and they're spawning in the north. Now, it almost looks like PG is doing the same thing, granted from the south, but they're breaking up into two groups. One is going up the forward line for all intents and purposes, and you got one or two, from what I can tell, on the one line there, close to the one line. Meanwhile, the light tank is scoping out the 9-0 line, the flat area there, and then we have 47R. Who is grouped up over here, about the 5 line or so, and then another at the 3-4 line. Definitely some exchanges of fires, and I'm kind of surprised to see, there's a lot of folks out in the open there in that quad area. There's about 4 PG clan member heavy tanks, and then you have 47R's heavy tanks, 3 to 4 of them. Well, there's 4 there, but about 3 of them taking turns to kind of edge out and do a little peek-a-boom.
Yeah, I saw.
All right. Meanwhile, the light tank has swung around. PG's light tank has swung around, gone through the 47R's flag, and now he's going to come around. He's going to start distracting the 47R heavy tanks from the rear, which is going to really be helpful to PG clan's strategy. So now that is a problem for 47R, and they need to deal with it very quickly. The light tank on 47R is doing a similar thing, but not quite as successful because it's not such a wide open area. The 47R light tank has to really get in close due to the nature of the buildings to send some rounds down range, and it puts them at a big disadvantage because you do not want to brawl in the light tank for obvious reasons. Now we're down to just 1 heavy tank and 1 light tank on 47R, AMX being the last one there, and I think the light tank might get the kill. And I believe he does. Last one was Chaos Fat Cat for the last heavy tank to go down for 47R. And it looks like the light tank there was the last one. I think that was Solus, who was the last 47R teammate to be alive. So that now makes it 2 games to PG. So good games, good job, guys. And 47R is doing a great job. For their, second time doing something like this. They're doing a great job. Now we're going to go ahead and switch maps, and they're going to set that up, and I'm cutting that out, and we're going to be showing up on mines. And with mines, it is still going to be a standard battle, and it is currently going to be 2-0 with PG, Clan PG holding the lead. And once again, during the intermissions or the times that you're not able to see, they are taking turns based on clan rules, clan battle rules. They're taking turns selecting tanks one at a time, and then once everyone gets their tank selected, and then they boot out folks who are mistakenly jumping into the room, then they go ahead and, play the game or launch the game. So the spectators are going to go ahead and get out of the list there and turn into spectators once the game starts. and float about and try to give us a bird's eye view of the battle as it unfolds. And it looks like we still have Clan PG being the green team, and they are spawning in the south. 47R is spawning from the north as the red team. Now notice the Clan PG, and for this particular map, is made up predominantly of light tanks. You have 5 light tanks rushing for the center, so they definitely have the speed advantage. And generally, high ground does, do you very well as far as strategy is concerned. 47R's light tank goes up, sees that there is no way he's going to contest the top, so he pulls back for just a bit. And now you have dominance of the high ground by Clan PG due to having so many light tanks. There are 2 heavy tanks down below, which is the only bulk of their heavy force. You can see here, I don't know if 47R, is, I don't know what their objective is at this point, besides the common sense of let's kill, the enemy. And I'm not trying to make jokes or anything, but literally it's, you have 2 forces that you need to battle and deal with. And I would say in retrospect that I would have pushed hard on those 2 heavies down below and only maintained a defensive posture for the tanks at the top instead of trying to take them. I would have chosen one front to truly push on, taken out those heavies because you have the bulk of your heavies. Use your muscle, take them out, and then of course deal with the light tanks last. It looks like they try to kind of just divvy it up. We had a few folks trying to deal with PG's heavy tanks, and a few 47R folks trying to deal with the light tanks above, and that 2-front war, typically in history, just does not work out well. All right, so we have some light tanks kind of feeling comfortable enough because there's only 2 heavy tanks left for 47R. They can just come down here and everyone just gets to shoot 47R up. So very sad for me, of course, because I'm voting for 47R for obvious reasons. But I do appreciate good tactics and a good game and good efforts, no matter who the team is. So good game for Clan PG. I think it was a really good strategy that they did. And, it's always a lesson to learn from our side. To me, if losing is an opportunity to learn, even winning is an opportunity to learn, because I want to win on purpose, not on accident. Now you can see here they're switching sides again. And potentially, if PG wins one more game, then they will have won this match. It is over. So it's not over until it's over. I have to say the cliche. And now that they've picked out their tanks, they're going to be launching into a new game. It's going to be the same map. But the only difference is, of course, that it is going to be one team spawning on the north and the other team spawning on the south. They're just flipping sides. Same map, same battle type. Now, here's the question. I personally have not even seen these replays. This is the first time I've seen it. So I'm not making up my mystery of not knowing what's going to happen specifically. Overall, I kind of know what happens. But what is 47R going to do? They see what the team, layout is, and it's for the most part exactly the same as before, as far as Clan PG having some heavies and some lights mixed, and it looks like Clan 47R switched over. They did not switch over. But it looks like Clan PG switched over from one light tank to a heavy. But other than that, they're running with the same routine. Same thing as far as the class or mix of tanks for Clan 47R. Now they're both moving out, and we can see what's going to happen here. Are they going to contest for the center? Are they going to run up the 8-9 line? Are they going to go down the 1-2? And you can see here you have a light tank making a run for the AMX, possibly an AMX Chaffee, running up, taking dominance at the top, and putting on just enough pressure to buy time for his Clan PG team to come further south down the main road of decision. You got 3 light tanks kind of being patient, I'm sure they're communicating, deciding when they should launch. It's almost like fighter craft, let's launch those light, fast fighters. And they're timing it just right because they don't know who's going to be coming around that corner, so they want to make sure that they're in control of it. Now, it would appear that 47R is predominantly in the center. We have a one-on-one battle between 2 light tanks here. I think that was a good choice by Clan PG to come down. Whether he dies, and he does die, whether he dies or not, I think that was great for buying time and for whittling down 47R's light tank. And now you have basically the circling of the wagons where the light tanks are now going to go ahead and make work from behind of those heavy tanks. While, it's a two-front war once again. So what I'm seeing here is consistent flanking, consistent pincer movements by Clan PG. And unfortunately, 47R just isn't able to keep up with it. However, as you can see, for whatever reason, and we can go back to the replay and examine it further, they're able to put up enough of a fight. I believe Clan PG pushed a little too confidently, and 47R was able to squash the heavy tanks enough, leaving just the one light down behind. And now as an unsuspected turn, there's a chance for them to win this game. If they don't win, I'd be very surprised, considering there's 4 heavies and one light. I could also see the eagerness there in 47R as they come down so quickly over the cliff to go after that one light tank. That they damaged both their tanks in doing so. So I can tell that the adrenaline and the bloodlust is high. And been there, done that. I understand. Sometimes you rationally know what you need to do, but sometimes you just want to push it a little too hard, a little too fast, because you just want to get that kill. And you start cutting corners, and cutting corners sometimes results in a damaged tank. And there you go. So 3 heavy tanks for 47R are alive, and PG is defeated for that particular round. So what that ends up being now is a 3-1, and that means that we have to go on to yet another game. So it is going to be the best of out of 7, and obviously the maximum you can get out of 7, beyond 50%, would be a 4. So we're still in a situation where if PG wins the 4th game, then it's over. But if 47R can continue with this momentum and get yet another win, then we can be in it even longer. So right now they're switching over to a new map, and that would be Port. This is going to be a standard battle. If you focus on the talking in the background, you can kind of hear some interesting things and whatnot once in a while. But for the most part, I cut out the talking in the middle between the games, because I figured we would just focus on just the actual battling itself. Now, at this point in time, you can see here they've already selected their tanks. And again, just to restate, so they changed their mind. They're going to actually do Prokhorovka. And, they pick their tanks one at a time, kick out anybody who accidentally wandered into the room, and they start the game. Now, this is going to be a standard battle. And Prokhorovka is a great map. A lot of opportunity. I didn't take the time to pause it and study the screenshot. So I'm kind of watching this, air quotes, real time, like you, and trying to quickly assess what there is. And there's 2 T54 lights, 2 AMX 1390s, and 2 IS3s for Clan PG. So you're looking at 2 heavies and the rest are lights. In contrast, you have the 110 by Pontiac Pat, which is a heavy tank. And, you just have a series of, for the most part, predominantly heavy tanks on the 47R side with 2 light tanks. Now, I personally don't believe in a recipe where one solution or one strategy or one plan is going to always win, and it's not, some plans, some strategies, just like tank classes, work better for others, and including teams. So, but with that said, so it can work for either team, but with that said, this is a very open ground, flat area, non-urban type map, and I'm curious to see if this mix of light tanks is going to really come in handy for Clan PG, and they're going to take advantage of the speed and agility of a light tank, or conversely, is the big bulk of 47R's heavy tank usage going to come into play, not unlike a giant wall of offense and defense, even though they'll be being shot at and whatnot, that they're going to steamroll over PG in this type of environment. The tank classes themselves do not dictate that. I believe it is also the driver and how you work as a team and strategies as well. It's a big mix of many things. Now you have 2 light tanks that were attempting to sweep around, and as excellent job by this light tanker on 47R's team, who I cannot glimpse the name because comes and goes, has come down to defend against the crossing over here in the south. We have a heavy tank coming in to assist, which is a good thing so that numerically speaking, it will be 3-on-2 with a weight advantage to 47R. However, one of the challenges you have is by doing so, by moving forces to the south, you are leaving forces, you're decreasing forces to the north. You have a light tank that is heading to the west, attempting to flank, which is a very, very smart thing to do. Big fan of that myself. And as they're peeking up and over, they're shooting that heavy tank in the rear as he was going to assist down south. Finally, a PG tanker is down. We have a couple of 47R tanks going in after that IS-3. We'll see if we can, if he can put them down. If 47R can put them down and get it done quickly enough, because it is all about time, then we're going to be good to go. If not, we're going to have a problem. Now, the light tanks in this open area are making quick work of that heavy tank on 47R, and now there's a lone heavy tank that's going to be put down. I don't think 47R can support him in time, having after destroyed the last heavy tank on Clan PG. 47R is on fire. He fire extinguishes. However, he's put on fire for a second time, which is very problematic. Here comes a light tank to the rescue, but a little bit too late. Maybe he can take out another tank. Not sure. And that light tank on 47R is put down. The light tank is put down, and now we're down to 1 heavy. The southern battle has fallen, 47R losing that, and Clan PG walking away with 4 light tanks versus 1 heavy tank. 3 of them are currently, doing what light tanks do. Swimming around fast and sweeping in for some shots, and Pontiac Pat was last to stand on that particular battle. Well, that would conclude the last battle for this match, being that Clan PG, and good job to them, and good job to 47R, has secured a 4th win, their 4 best out of 7. And so hats off, good gaming. I'm very proud of 47R for doing such a great job. Yes, it's my clan, but regardless, I know who these people are, and I know what they have in real life, and balancing life and practice and trying this on for the first time. I say way to go, and great job representing loyalty and honor. Now, where did my crew go off to? Oh, I see. There they are. Okay, girls, tell them who they are if they're receiving this transmission.
You are one of the 47 Ronin. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you later.